how did we fix an IUL life insurance Facebook ads campaign? Stay tuned, and I'll show you how we went from $100 leads down to below $20 leads in just a matter of 30 days. So the way that it works looks like this. All right, the very first ad that we began was running videos to a cold audience to see would they watch a certain percentage of this video. And the reason that we started here is if you can look at the cost per view, we were able to get out in front of 1,000 impressions for $6, but we were able to get out in front of 1,000 Facebook accounts for just $7. And why we cared about those 1,000 people, 1,600 people technically, is we wanted to know out of those people which ones were going to watch 1 minute worth of video, 2 minutes worth of video, 3 minutes worth of video, or even 5 minutes worth of video. And this gets us from a cold audience to start seeing that at least 28 people cared enough to watch 2 minutes worth of video. And those are the 28 people that we wanted to turn around and retarget with an actual life insurance ad, right? So once we saw that they're interested, and now think about that. We're out in front of over 1,000 people and we found 28. Okay. So the first step was we got rid of all the people that we didn't think was going to watch our ad. And the second part that we did was take those people and put an actual Facebook ad explaining exactly what type of life insurance policy and IUL policy was going to do for them. And what 3 problems do they have? What 3 major solutions can we do? Have we done it for other people in the past and proved that we're trustworthy with it? What to expect if you book an appointment with this agent, and how quick, easy, painless, and fast it's going to be to get to their desired outcome. Okay, so you'll see here the numbers are going to be different because instead of it being $7 to get in front of 1,000 people, now we have to spend about $232 to get in front of 1,000 people. And even though we're out in front of those 1,000 people, how many of them are actually paying attention and they're interested? Well, the great news is because of our retargeting strategy, we were able to get these cold people to convert at a really high rate. So over 300 people were actually interested in watching it minimum 2 minutes worth of video to think about, is an IUL policy perfect for them or not? Okay, and you can see that we even had over 100 people that were willing to watch up to 5 minutes worth of video. So we knew we were moving in the right direction, and then we confirmed that that right direction was doing great because of our click-through rate. In general, you want this number to be as high as it can possibly be. This is a number that you want to go high, and which it was. So we're happy about that. And you want your cost per click to be as low as it can be, because it's basically Facebook's way of saying, I'm going to charge you $3.50 for each of those 200, 300 people to click the link and learn more about it, right? So you want this to be low, but you want your click-through rate to be high. and you want your reach to be high as well so that you can really determine, are you in front of enough people to get quality, repeatable results. So after we were seeing that we had at least 100 or more people, right? So we had 300 people here that really qualified by clicking the link, looking at our form, and thinking about purchasing life insurance and IUL specifically. What we focused on was out of the 111 leads that came in, how many of those were booking instant appointments? And that's what we really, really, really cared about. So we were looking directly at how many of them were going to turn around and book an appointment without needing cold calling, without needing dial days, and then what was the cost of the lead? What was the cost of the appointment? Now, I'll make it simple for you and give you a little cheater. All right, so Facebook is taking this total amount and it's dividing it by the number of results, and that'll get you your $19.60 right here. Now, that's good because we're getting $20 leads right away within the first week. So this is actually extremely good. And we personally know the quality of the leads because we're running the ad and we're able to get there. The second thing that we wanted to know was at $2,176, if it got us 26 booked appointments, what was the cost of our appointment just to get somebody to the appointment? And that is $83.69. Now, we try to get a $50 appointment, but in this space, in this industry, a $200 appointment is actually profitable. So we've seen many a times where a person will run a $200 appointment and then they'll run 4 of those appointments and they'll spend a total of about $800 to get in front of 4 people. But then they're going to turn around and write a $3,600 policy. So they're positive, they're winning $2,800 on an $800 ad spend, right? So at $2,800 divided by 800 is 350%. So you're tripling your money even at a $200 cost of appointment. And what we're doing is getting an $83 cost of appointment. So 80, let's call it $85. We're running 4 of those. So for 340, we're actually able to write a $3,600 application and we're profiting over $3,000 every 4 appointments. So this is an amazing system. It's extremely profitable. It's doable. With just 60 to 90 days, you can get there as long as you got a 25% or better closing rate. We actually run into more problems at the closing rate than we do lead cost or appointment cost. So that's a sales issue with sales training. The next step that we did was see if we could beat the quality by running a second version of it and run people through a second warm stack, right? And were we able to beat it or not beat it? Now, if you look at it from the outside, what you're going to notice is this looks like it's a $20 average and that looks like a $45 average. But I want to show you the difference. So once we start seeing what the ads themselves are doing, then we're able to know, did some of these ads actually blow the budget out of the water, right? So we start looking at out of how much that we spent, what the cost per result was per ad at the ad level, and if we were blowing our budget here because we left an ad on that probably should have got turned off. Now, what you will notice is once we started getting dialed in, Facebook kept giving us $15 leads. So this one was a little too expensive at $35, but this one was actually down to $15. And every 5 leads was booking an appointment, right? So when you start looking at it from that point of view, it's $15, and every 5 appointments is a booked appointment, right? Or every 5 leads is a booked appointment. So we started getting $75 appointments off of this one ad. Well, some of these ads obviously were a little more expensive. And then you start coming down here and you notice that we were getting $12 leads. And these $12 leads, although the ad itself was working, it's $12 lead, they weren't booking the appointments. And we actually want them to book appointments right away, or we don't consider that a success. So we continued again just below it, and we were getting $10 leads, and every 2 leads was booking an appointment. So when you start looking at how impressive that is, that we're spending $953 and got 12 leads, right? So that's the $114. And Facebook's math is screwy. Just FYI, Facebook is always incredible. But so for $114, we were able to get 5 appointments. Now you can look and see the genius of retargeting, getting better and better and better. And now we're getting $22 appointments. And that means every 4 appointments is writing a $3,600 policy. So we're earning $3,500 on every $100 spent. That's literally a $3,500 profit. And it's also a $3,500 percentage, right? So if you think about it in terms of multiples, that means for every $1 we're putting in, we're getting $35 back. Right. So that's a 35% return. It's a 350% return if you think about it. Right. So we knew that this campaign was really moving in the right direction and that we were going to be really satisfied with the outcome. But now let's look at the danger of it. Okay. So the danger was this one ad right here. It started going at $73 a day. And you would say, holy shit, Travis, that's a terrible price for one lead. When you're able to get $9 leads, you should never pay $73 for a lead. But what we were looking at was we're paying $73 for the appointment, right? So it actually was able to convert an appointment at $73, which is better than the $75 or the $85 that it was getting up here for cheaper leads, right? So this is a giant, like, I hope this really makes sense to you guys, because you can spend money and think only about the cost of the lead and blow your budget. You'll have a whole bunch of leads and they'll be really cheap and you'll feel really proud and really happy. But if they're not appointments that are earning sales, that it really doesn't give, like, it doesn't matter at all what that cost of the lead is. It only matters what the cost of the appointment was and what the cost of the sale was. So this is a great example of how we took this one campaign and started increasing not just the cost of the lead, but the actual lowering the cost of the appointment. And that's really why we left some of these out here. And it looks like it's a $50 lead, but it's really like a very, very affordable booked appointment. And then finally, what we were focusing on is if we can do all that, how good is sending people away from Facebook, right? So these down here are Facebook results. And then how much better would it be if we were sending people directly to a custom website that we built? How much better would we do? And you found out that our cost per lead was higher, but those leads were definitely booking their first appointment and their second appointment virtually 100% of the time. So this is why we really encourage using our video sales letter strategy to drive people over to get past the first initial appointment, to get them to the second appointment where you know that you're writing a policy. And this is just a very quick way of how we were able to lower our cost per lead, right? So you can see like some of our costs per leads were really high. And then eventually we were able to get it where our cost of appointment was very affordable and our cost per lead was really below $10 at times, below $20, but they were always, no matter what, they were always ending up being below $50 for a fresh IUL lead. That was booking appointments. Every 3 leads was booking an appointment. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions about this, I would love to help you. This year, we're actually launching our brand new company, launching this product where we will train you how to do this. We will do it for you, or we will teach you how to do it. Like really, like our job, our goal right now is to help as many agents be successful as we can and disrupt the industry from being a 95% fail rate to a 95% success rate. If this makes sense to you or something that you're interested in, drop a comment or message us, schedule an appointment, and we'd love to help you just like we've helped others.